Days of Our Lives spoilers. Will Marcy Miller's Abigail return? Prove Chad's new Abby is a scammer? Familiar Demira returns. Felicity back for Big Brother Mark drama. Kristen suspects Abby's a fraud. Brady answers Jada's auto questions. Greetings to all Days of Our Lives fans. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Chad DeMuro wants so desperately to believe his woman is back from the grave. Maybe that's why Chad's been far too accepting of Abigail DeMira and this whole crazy story. Of course, it's not usual for people to come back to life in Salem, so it's easy to see why Chad would believe that part. Still, it's weird that Abigail has a completely different face and no bones, really questioning why she would have had reconstructive surgeries. In fact, Chad isn't questioning much of anything at each and has accepted the DNA test results as the verity. Chad was the victim of outfitted DNA test results multiple times with his children, so you'd suppose he'd be a little more cautious about believing what comes out of the sanitarium lab. Abigail also claimed to flash back the moment when Clyde Weston attacked her, but her phony performance wasn't credible at all. There are red flags each over the place, but Chad just doesn't want to see them. Fortunately, we can suppose of one jotting strategy to prove this isn't fraud and make Chad understand the error of his ways. This day's plot would be the perfect setup for Marcy Miller to duplication the part of Abigail DeMera, the real bone. Fake Abby may sluggishly win Chad over, so what happens if they ultimately decide to renew their promises? That might be the ideal time for Miller's Abigail to crash the form and contend Chad's got the wrong woman. This might turn into a situation where Chad incontinently knows Miller's Abigail is the real deal. Chad may feel their special connection right off the club and decide he was foolish for ever buying phony Abigail's claims. That could open the door for Chad to reunite with the real Abigail if Miller's willing to stick around in her old days part. Still, Abigail might be so distraught about Chad falling for and presumably sleeping with a bogus Abby that she leaves city in despair, if not. Whatever the case, Days still shows filmland of Marcy Miller's Abigail on screen all the time. Miller's interpretation of Abby remains fresh in Days of Our Lives observers' minds, so perhaps she'll truly make a miraculous comeback and shock Salem in the process. Will this story turn into a tale of two Abigails, a devious scammer and the real woman that Chad still loves? Days of Our Lives spoilers say some Abby marvels are still to come, so we'll bring you prognostications on any twists and updates on any news about Marcy Miller's implicit return. Days of Our Lives appearances and goings. Familiar DeMira returns. Felicity back for Big Brother Mark drama. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that we got some appearances and goings news to talk about. So let's dive in, and Bandy will be appearing during the week of August 26-30. For starters, Jonah Robinson will formally again step into Dr. Mark Green's shoes and come a more important part of the action thanks to a recent big reveal. Mark has intimately partnered with Abigail DeMera, but it's getting decreasingly egregious that she's not the real deal. Abigail is part of a plot with Mark, so they'll have to cover when Chad DeMera finds them in the demens together. Mark preliminarily sounded like a sweet Joe, so why is he colluding with Abigail to dupe Chad along with Abby's other loved bones? Time will tell, but Days suckers will still see a regard of that sweet side when Mark shares further scenes with his little family. Kennedy Garcia will duplication the part of Felicity Green, so look for her to interact with Mark and remain in the dark on her big family's shady plan. Wally Kurth also has further Days appearances on the way as Justin Caracas, who will be serving as Brady Black's counsel once he confesses to causing the mega hit and run accident. Of course, Days of Our Lives observers know Fiona Cook is actually to condemn, and Justin could get a hint about that when he eavesdrops on Fiona and grows suspicious. Next, Tana Huang will have a chance to shine as Melinda Trask in the hostage story that's playing out in Connie Viniski's apartment. Will Melinda be suitable to escape in the coming occurrences, or will she have to stay for a deliverance? Eventually, a familiar youthful DeMero will return for some new Days scenes. Carrie Christopher will appear as Thomas DeMera, We'll get left in the dark on all the Abigail chaos as Chad struggles to navigate this tricky situation. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Thomas will have a hunch that commodity's up anyway, so we'll bring you prognostications on his attempt to crack the case and updates on any news he might uncover. Days of Our Lives Monday, August 26 update. Kristen suspects Abby's a fraud. Brady answers Jada's auto questions. Days of Our Lives spoilers update for Monday, August 26 reveals that Holly Jonas will push for the whole story now that she's caught Sophia Choi making a play for Tate Black. Holly got relief of Sophia, but she still isn't entirely sure what she witnessed and will anticipate some honest answers from Tate. Of course, Days of Our Lives suckers know Tate shut Sophia down and had no interest in repaying anything. Once Tate explains his side of the story, it looks like Holly will accept that it was just Sophia's manipulation again. Holly and Tate's love should be fine, but they may start to wonder if coming clean would be preferable to letting Sophia irk them with influence. Other days spoilers say Brady Black will have to address the auto that's faded from the parking garage. Jada Hunter arrived wanting to see it since she's supposedly verified the license plate is an implicit match for the auto that hit Sarah Horton. Kyriakis. Part of Brady will want to admit he might be to condemn for Sarah's accident, but he'll hold his lingo for now. It won't be until latterly during the week of August 26-30 that Brady makes a concession to the Bobbies. Meanwhile, Days spoilers say Fiona Cook will let Xander Kyriakis spare on him in his time of need. Xander won't realize Fiona is actually the bone who ran over Sarah and left her unconscious on the ground. Over with Kristen DeMera, she'll be skeptical when it comes to Abigail DeMera miraculously rising from the grave. Kristen won't be certain she buys this strange situation and will push Chad DeMera to consider whether Abigail might be a fraud. Although Chad will suppose the DNA evidence seals the deal, Kristen will differ since numerous tests have been outfitted in Salem over the times. Coming on Monday's Days of Our Lives occasion, Abigail will continue her secret meeting with Dr. Mark Green, who'll want to talk about the coming way of their scheme. Mark will embrace Abigail to settle her down and will contend he knows she can pull this off. Abigail and Mark have cooked up some deception together, so Days may offer some details on how they joined forces and why. Anyhow, Mark and Abigail will run into a hitch when Chad stumbles across their meeting in the Dement. It'll leave Chad looking for updates on what's going on, so Mark and Abigail will land in a tight spot. That'll force Mark and Abby to come up with a fast explanation, so they might claim Dr. Green saw Abigail looking like she was in torture and made sure she was okay. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Mark and Abigail will keep their secret plot complete for now, but will bring you prognostications on any other disquieting news ahead. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.